Uh, Sir, I hope you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear
Sir,
you,
a
Vinny.
lot,
Thank you.
sir, a lot has been said about this and that, but
Can you speak slightly louder, please?
sir, a lot has been said about Pakistan, and a lot has been said about this and that. In your opinion, uh, India has its own options, but the fact of the matter is that India has, for the better part of the last couple of decades, you know, been extremely proficient in telling the world what Pakistan's reality is. All that hard work is going to come handy now. There's not a single nation apart from China and Turkey that have come forth to ask for a neutral investigation. They have not even said that they will support Pakistan in a war against India. Does this already spell a formidable predictive victory for India, according to you?
Vinny, you put it very well, and I'm very grateful to my distinguished co-panelists for a range of views on what are the options before India at this point of time. Some very fine, nuanced set of options have been put forth on the NewsX table. Yes, of course, there is no doubt Pakistan, we have very successfully, through very nimble diplomacy, leveraging of our relative power asymmetry, which favors us, the larger profile of India in the global system. All these are to our advantage, undoubtedly. But if we understand the strategic history of the world, a weak neighbor who's recalcitrant can be troublesome. So we have to find various means by which we can ensure that actions of the kind that have taken place in Baisaran, without a shade of doubt, with the active connivance and planning by the deep state in Pakistan, undoubtedly, with a little bit of help from our own people in the state of J&K, which is of course very sad and unfortunate. But a weak Pakistan is no doubt a reality. We also need to keep in mind that two windows of Pakistan, both the economic window, which has been talked about by our co-panelists, and increasingly the security window, vis-a-vis Afghanistan, vis-a-vis its own capability and war fighting effectiveness and combat worthiness, those are under question. And yeah, I think we also need to keep in mind that Asim Munir and the statement he made about the two-nation theory, which was most unfortunate, is himself at this moment very, very weak, not only in the country, but sad, I mean, most shockingly, within the Pakistani army establishment. Now, this has not come out in the media, but there are reports to the effect that one of the rationales that the deep state has chosen to do this heinous act in Mysore is because the army chief himself is seen as weak in the country and within his own army. I think wisdom is what is called for. Perhaps being the oldest person on this panel, I would suggest, of course, I'm not saying that we must not respond and we must not respond with impact. But we need to understand this is not responding to the anger of our domestic constituencies and the related political exigencies which arise in the leadership here. Now, we cannot make a mistake. I think one of my co-panelists rightly said security environment for even India, despite the power that we have vis-a-vis Pakistan, whether it is Bangladesh, the situation in Myanmar, the situation vis-a-vis China, there's still an occupation.
Right. So just one point, sir. So if you look at wars, sir, even a country like Ukraine, which is supported by a majority of the European bloc, is finding itself running between post and pillar to fund this war. By that example, do you think Pakistan does not have an easy road ahead and should realize this before it ends up expending the little bit amount of money that it already has in its coffers?
Vineet, you're absolutely right, but I would strongly caution against any comparison with the war in Ukraine.
Or do you think the Muslim Ummah will?
That is not. I would, as a student of strategic affairs, I would not recommend a resort to a limited conventional war. I would much rather propose for the consideration not only of our viewers but also the panelists and yourself that we don't have to go to war because our people of India are angry. We have to look at it from strategic and political military perspective as to what can we do, what is the end state we want to achieve. End state is not war. I'm sorry, war will put us back. War, as it is, Pakistan is in the black hole. It has nowhere lower to go. India is resplendent in its power, in its capability. So therefore, as the famous Urdu expression which the Pakistanis will well be thinking of doing, hum to doobenge sanam, tum to bhi le doobenge. Otherwise, the alternative is a massive, large-scale war. Our strategic, hard, grand strategy is war prevention. It's not prosecution of war. It is war prevention so that the socio-economic, technological development of India can remain unhindered and India can attain its rightful place as perhaps the second largest economy in the world in 2050 or around. We will perhaps be in GDP terms, be even a dash ahead of the United States.